do it because we didn't do it with them. That's the learning by doing idea. But then there's something that very few people talk about in my experience, what I call context or modeling. That's what the ACU PCC is about, right? Do we model our values and our commitments in everything we do as a university? Does NTNU model sustainability in all its commitments? Do they become climate neutral? What P.P. Sung was talking about is a talk I gave on Friday about STARS, which is an assessment tool to help you understand where you're doing well and where you're not doing well, whether it's in curriculum or operations or outreach. So what does this mean? Well, this is from a statement by the Kellogg Commission, reports that they did 15 years ago. And they say, what's the role of public universities? So in Taiwan, all your universities that you guys are from, NTNU or NTU, you have some private universities, but a lot of the best universities here are all public universities. In the US, we have a lot of very good public universities and some very good private universities. But the idea is we must address the common good. So the idea is coming up, this was from 15 years ago, and we've really been lagging in terms of what we've been doing in the US. We have to address the common good. So reorient to reimagine. This is another statement from that report. The obstinate problems of our world today and tomorrow, in the nation and the world, right? They're these wicked problems: poverty, family and community breakdown, restricted access to healthcare, hunger, global warming, urbanization. And the idea is that unless universities address these challenges, we won't be able to address them at all. Okay, so this is just a slide that I put together on sort of what does improving quality of life all rest on? Well, there's some demographic issues. We go back to Joel Cohen, right? What kind of world do we want to see? Well, population, labor, the nature of work, we need to address all those issues. But we also need to address all of these things: housing, healthcare, food. That's what the biomimicry slide, right, about reimagining how we make it adhesive. Well, we have to do that in education, in government, in transportation, in recreation, and then in manufacturing and resources, right? We have many experts here in forestry. But we also need to have that same kind of expertise about improving quality of life and recognizing the significance of resilient ecosystem services that can support wildness and the flourishing of biodiversity. We have to do that in mining and energy production, in agriculture and manufacturing too. So, if we go back to UN Roadmap, and we look at it in terms of some questions and challenges. The gap goals are great, but again, there's a gap. Have we mostly been applying first-order change strategies to second-order change problems? And how might a more nuanced understanding of learning for sustainability core competencies help us to leverage and respond to the challenges we face? And number 4, this is what I'm going to talk about for the next few minutes. What sorts of practical paradigm-shifting things might we begin to do now to lay the foundation for large-scale transformative change? So I'm going to shift to this idea of some scales of change and really focus on the community and the institution. And I'm going to talk about an idea that I've been working on for about a decade, but is starting to make a lot of sense. This idea of a community sustainability incubator. And I call it a do tank for thinkers. And it serves as a regional hub for reimagining and reinvigorating community and economic development. It's grounded in the belief that the solutions to communities' problems lie in creating a safe space where the right questions can be asked, new partnerships can be created, and we can be messy and dirty and fail together. And the idea is it depends upon cross-institutional collaboration, so NTNU with NTU, with all kinds of other universities around. It has to model how we catalyze large-scale transformative social change and leverage collective impact by getting at the root problems. And it's a transformative vision, I argue, that's akin to Andrew Carnegie, who built libraries all over the United States and around the world, about 3,000 libraries. So I'm arguing we also need a physical space where this can happen. So the idea kind of built on some of the work that I did with Hans von Ginkel, who was the rector of UN University in Japan. This is the RCE idea. So it links formal education in many levels and horizontal links across formal education, so NTU and NTNU and schools. And then there's vertical integration between those. And the idea is that it links that with the non-formal education sector, so museums, libraries, botanical gardens, zoos, nature parks, local government, community leaders, media, and then connects those links between them. So this is a slide from Professor Giroux about the Northern Environmental Education Regional Center from a talk he gave on Friday, tremendously insightful. I learned very, very much from it. And this is the model that he has that we worked with him about. Hopefully I got the translations okay. He's going to tell me if I got them poorly. So then in these 5 areas, and then sort of the techniques or approaches that are used to support it: professional leadership, capacity building, research and evaluations, partnerships and outreach, and technology and IT support. Similar to a lot of the work that we do. And this is some work that's being done in Finland, part of the Finnish Innovation Fund. And they've done some fabulous work on a national well-being project that I encourage you all to look at. And it produced a bunch of books like this, Recipes for Systemic Change, Legible Practices. So they talk about the idea that ignorance as the cliche is bliss. This is sort of the idea I was talking about, right? As long as those consequences are spatially and temporally separated, we're not encouraged to act. But when we make them apparent, which we can do. So here's the idea of the goal of the community sustainability, to turn blissful ignorance into blissful awareness and action. So this is my president at my university. I'm just going to talk quickly about a few of the things that we're doing. Bringing speakers, so increasing diversity and awareness. This was about food issues and the loss, especially of Black African-American farmers in the United States. This is Mitch Thomashaw, a friend of mine who was president of Unity College, and then he was president of, worked with ACU-PCC, working with faculty, so bringing outside speakers to not just talk, but actually work with faculty on building capacity. This is John Francis, amazing man who, after the oil tanker crash in the San Francisco Bay in the 1970s, walked everywhere for 22 years, across the United States, across South America, and he took a vow of silence for 18 years. And then he was the person who was responsible for designing the new tanker standards in the U.S. Amazing man. This is David Hales, who was president of the College of the Atlantic, the first college in the United States to become carbon neutral, but also later became the president of ACU-PCC. And then this is some work that we do on permaculture. This is a permaculture research and demonstration site. We have a house where students live. This is some of the beekeeping, hoop houses, making apple juice, cob oven, and a farmer's market. And vermicomposting research. Some of our students worked on closed loop economy research. They won the International Weggy Prize, it's called, for closed loop economies. Sustainability Bash, National Sustainability Day, art shows by faculty members, student-run cafe. That's a problem. Sorry about that. This is Judy Wicks, who started the White Dog Cafe, a very famous person in creating business alliances for local learning economies. This is her book. And I was going to show a very short video. So this is our campus sustainability website. Just to give you a sense of the kind of work we do in terms of collaborations with the community and the university.
That I was speaking today when I opened the door to get dressed. It said, "Good morning, beautifulness." And it's a reminder to me of just how beautiful business is. When we put our creativity and our care and our energy into producing a product or a service that our community needs. So for me, business is about relationships. Money is simply a tool. Business is about relationship with everybody that we buy from, sell to, and work with, and about our relationship with nature and all the other species who live here on Earth with us. My story, and the story for each of us, begins right at home, in our own community, and with our own capacity to recognize and protect what we truly care about. Responsibility, the first act in building a sustainable local economy, is to choose a place in the world and to commit to that place, to become knowledgeable of that place, to take responsibility to that place in terms of building our local economy. And I feel that our success came from a dedication to our place and a mission of service to our customers, to our employees, to our community, and to our natural world. In creating a viable future for our children and for the children of all species, it will because humankind has evolved to take our place in the family of life, not as exploiters, but as lovers. Thank you very much.
I just have a couple more slides to finish up with. So these are just other examples of the kinds of collaborations with our local nature center, two of our students, Shana and Nora, on climate change, creating a local climate change collaborative. This is a program called Open Roads with 6 of our graduates actually are running this organization now. And it takes at-risk youth in the community and teaches them how to fix bikes. And at the end, they actually get a bicycle after they've done a certain amount of work. This is some work with another regional college, right actually adjacent to ours, a small liberal arts school called Kalamazoo College that has a Center for Social Justice and Leadership that we work with. This is our community foundation that we work with very actively. This is a brilliant project called the Bronson Healthy Living Campus. It's right adjacent to a hospital. And it has three aspects. This is the president of the local community college, Marilyn Schlack, who I work with very closely. And it has three aspects that it works on: a food sustainability, production and innovation center, culinary and allied health careers, so teaching people about cooking, and then a mental health clinic to work with people with mental health disabilities and having them learn how to farm and work in food service industry. A really brilliant second-order change strategy. I'm going to close with these ideas. So when you walk into a beautiful church or cathedral, whether it's a 12th or 13th century cathedral or Antonio Gaudi's, I think, still unfinished church, the Sagrada Familia in Barcelona, it changes the way we feel about humanity and our potential and what we can do. And so I'm arguing that the idea of creating this community sustainability incubator, a physical space that models sustainability in all its aspects, it creates the opportunity for this cross-institutional collaboration and real-world problem solving. That's what can be a catalytic changing force. And this is from some work that we've done with architects around the country in terms of visioning the programming for this community sustainability incubator. And this is Andrew Carnegie. He built over 3,000 libraries across the United States and around the world. And I'm arguing that the kinds of things that we need to see happen are colleges and universities, for every college and university, to create this community sustainability incubator vision. So I'm going to end with this last slide. Winston Churchill said, "We shape our buildings, thereafter they shape us." And my idea is we shape our education systems, thereafter they shape us. And in turn, the planet. So thank you.
Thank you, Harold. I think we have done a lot from this speech, and we'd like to invite you to ask some questions. Maybe we have, I think, before lunch, maybe we have 10 minutes. So maybe one or two questions related to the topics and anything that you can image about the sustainability and the universities. So, 欢迎任何的问题，可以用中文或英文问都可以。我想优先让非教授的同学或是来宾先问好了哈。各位有任何想要再请用前面的麦克风。
Oh, thank you. Thank you, hello. I have plenty queries about the in international business. What if I'm leading people, nevertheless, the racist could be, how should I correctly do and analyze that? IOU, okay? It doesn't take a definite note, which should be IOU, OWE, but not OWN. How can I act correctly? How can I widespread my decent deeds? Second thing, for your reference only, 1/32 millimeters. This should be 0.625, not 0.635, to be precise. And talking about the blanket, I mean, you have the full diagram. Two aspects, just one living blanket with a big question mark. Can I put, please guide me, on the very right, the crystal ball, something like transparency and transcendency. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. for those comments and suggestions. I really appreciate them. Do you want to take another question, maybe?
我想请大家请教问题，这个不是来可以订正你的资料错误的这个问题，就是大家有什么意见的话，请大家提出来。
是不是可以帮我请教一下？我想要知道美国，如果在大学里面有这样子的中心、育成中心或计划在做社区的推广，那这时候对于学校学生的参与，是不是也有配套的做法？因为我们知道，其实高等教育里面那么多学科，那么多大学的高等教育的学生毕业之后，我们实在不太知道他们对于永续发展这一块的着力跟经验。谢谢。
I'm not sure if I totally understand, so I may need some help. But you were wondering about, I think, complementary measures for the success of the community sustainability incubator in relationship also to indicators for success of our students? No?
简单的把你的主要的问题再说一次。
我的问题是说，整个这样的方案在推动的过程当中，学校里的学生参与的状况有没有配套？
So you're wondering about the participation of the students in the projects? Yeah, so my job is I report to the president and responsible for sustainability for the whole university. So integrating and infusing sustainability into curriculum and research. So we work with faculty to help integrate and infuse sustainability into their research and into their teaching. We're just starting actually a new Learning for Sustainability graduate certificate so that we have many students all over the university, whether they're in the MBA program, or whether they're in engineering, or they're in behavioral analysis, or they're in holistic health, or they're physicians or lawyers, and they want to incorporate sustainability into their work. But we don't want to create a whole new school of sustainability. All we want to do is encourage and support the faculty members from all over the university.